I fell for my husband's brother, and he planned this night. I never meant for it to happen. It started the year my marriage went quiet. Not explosive, not dramatic, just empty. My husband still came home, still slept beside me, still said the right things, but everything felt scheduled, mechanical, like we were coworkers sharing a bed. Then his brother moved in. Temporary, they said. A few weeks. He was going through a divorce, needed space, needed family. I told myself it was harmless. He was just a guest, just blood. But he noticed things my husband didn't anymore. The way I skipped meals when I was anxious, the way I stayed up too late pretending I wasn't lonely. He didn't try to fix me. He just saw me. I told myself the feeling was gratitude, then comfort, then something I refused to name. Weeks passed. The house felt alive when he was in it, silent when he wasn't. I started timing my day around his footsteps without realizing it. I hated myself for it. I loved my husband. I chose my husband. Until one night I caught myself hoping my husband would come home late. That was the moment I knew something inside me had already crossed a line I swore I never would. I planned to distance myself. I planned to fix things. I planned to forget. Then I found the envelope, tucked in a drawer that wasn't mine, my name on the front. Inside was a letter I never knew existed, written months ago, before he ever moved in. It said he had been in love with me long before I ever noticed him. And at the bottom, a date circled in red, tonight. And that's when I heard my husband's car pull into the driveway. I didn't sleep that night. The letter burned in my mind, but the truth was worse than the confession itself. It wasn't love that scared me. It was how easily my loyalty fractured when I realized how unseen I had been for years. I spent months blaming myself for feeling empty, telling myself marriage just fades, that wanting more was selfish. I was wrong. The next morning, I didn't look at my husband the same. Not because of his brother, but because I finally noticed how invisible I had been long before anyone else entered the house. He hadn't betrayed me. He had simply stopped choosing me, one quiet day at a time. I decided to end the marriage. Not dramatically, not angrily, clean, honest, final. His brother moved out within a week. We never spoke about the letter. We didn't need to. The damage was already done, and I refused to replace one emotional dependency with another. I wanted distance from everything that felt like a mistake. That's when his sister reached out. She had always been different, older than both of them, sharp, grounded, the one everyone leaned on but no one really checked in on. She offered help, not advice, not pity, just presence. Coffee turned into long walks. Long walks turned into hours of silence that didn't feel awkward. She didn't look at me like something broken. She looked at me like someone waking up. She never asked why my marriage failed. She didn't need the details. She understood without explanations, like she had seen this coming long before I had. The shift wasn't sudden. It was terrifyingly calm. I noticed how safe I felt around her, how I didn't feel the need to perform or impress. I wasn't trying to be wanted. I already was, not romantically at first, just deeply, genuinely seen. Then one night, I realized something that terrified me more than the letter ever did. I wasn't confused anymore. What I felt for her wasn't longing or fantasy or rebellion. It was clarity. I wasn't falling away from my marriage. I was falling into myself. When the truth finally surfaced, it wasn't explosive. It was quiet, devastating in a different way. My ex-husband didn't rage. He didn't beg. He didn't accuse. He just looked tired, like someone who finally understood how much he had ignored. The family fractured. Holidays disappeared. Invitations stopped. Lines were drawn without words. I became the story everyone whispered about but never corrected. I was the betrayal, the scandal, the mistake they didn't want to name. But for the first time in my life, I didn't shrink. Because she chose me anyway. Not secretly, not shamefully, not halfway. We didn't hide. We didn't rush. We didn't apologize for loving each other like it was something dirty. We built something slow, deliberate, and painfully honest. I lost a marriage. I lost a family. I lost the version of myself that survived by staying small. But I gained something I had never had before: peace. Not the quiet kind that comes from avoiding conflict, but the kind that comes from finally telling the truth, even when it costs you everything. I didn't fall for my husband's brother. I fell past the lies, past the expectations, past the life I was told to be grateful for. And in the end, I didn't choose scandal. I chose the only person who ever truly saw me and the courage to never disappear again.